Going on, guys? It's Nick. Just wanted to show you some heads that I strung up for Ned. I showed you the unboxings of all these, and yeah, I'm just going to show them to you all strung up. Plus, I got the Surgeon strung up with the barbershop mesh, and I wanted to show you that. I retaped it to make it look nice and classy with the new mesh on it. I think it looks really sick. The colors look really great on it. It's the same pattern that I used before. I just did some blue on the sides and red and blue on the sides, just white shooters, and then kind of like royal bottom string, pulling it nice and tight. Catches the sun a lot, so yeah, let me try to, I'll just view it this way. Anyways, the last pocket that I had in here, it was the same pattern, but it was just, after a while, it got so baggy, and after catching some high passes, some passes that had a lot of heat on them, you know, after a while, the stuff just breaks in. So it got kind of baggy with the pattern that I had in it, but this is the pattern that I like. It's got a high, I'm kind of gearing more towards like the high shooters instead of putting them lower, because it tends to whip. But with this stick, I haven't really thrown around with it yet, so I don't know exactly how it's going to perform. I'm sure it's going to perform just fine, because it's the same pattern that I had on there before. This is the July. I wrote a little DMG with a little marker on there. This is a DMG barbershop mesh. You guys can order it starting July 1st. I'll let you know the details in a new video when I make it. What was I going to say? The price is pretty fixed. Probably going to charge around 22 to 25 bucks a sheet, because like I said, it is time extensive. I picked up a couple more markers, so I'm going to be able to do the black to volts. I picked up some neon colors. These markers are not really on the less expensive side; they're more on the expensive side. So yeah, I mean it's really easy to do. I mean, but like I said, the wax coating is what you're really paying for in the design, obviously. So that you have to keep in mind. With regular dye, it's easy just to, dye it in, but with this stuff, it's all made by hand, so it just takes that much more time. But once I get more into it, I'll be able to probably do a whole bunch of different types of pieces, like just one side with the blue over here, maybe all that blue, maybe all that red. But I wanted to see how it would look like on a stick. I've seen a few pictures of some other people's sticks, and I guess this is how it came out on mine. So I'm excited to take this out into the yard and practice a few shots on it, and see how it works out. So I'll let you guys know in the next video or so on how it performs and stuff, but I'm sure it performs pretty good. It's going to perform great. So let's give you one last close-up to this. And then I'll start talking about the other heads. I just think it looks really sick. It's got a nice channel to it. The pattern is basically a lot of SIs going down to the bottom, to the middle, excuse me, and then a stacked SI, and then SI, 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 and then tie off. So I just think it looks great. Yeah. So yeah, it looks cool. Alright, so I'm going to put you to rest just for a second and talk about the heads. Starting from right to left, you guys saw this one unboxed. It's not really the particularly greatest head that I like to string Proton Powers, because they don't have a lot of holes. If they had more holes, I think they'd create a better pocket, make it easier to string. This one came from Lacrosse Unlimited. I think he got a die from them, USA die. I remember seeing these in like the magazines and stuff, and looking up close, they're actually pretty cool. So they use some type of really cool vinyl cutter to make these designs, and they're pretty intricate. I don't know how to say that word, because when I look in person on these stars where the USAs are, they're so small, but they pop right out at you. So there's a lot of work that Rob Rimmer does to these heads. Anyway, this one was done. Originally, it's supposed to be cotton candy mesh, but I decided to tell him that why don't we just go with a USA flow. So I did 2 straights and 1 3 diamond U. All the pockets were requested to be mid pockets with not that much whip, pretty decent amount of hold. So I think he's going to get a lot of this out of the head. Came out to be a pretty sweet channel. Once it breaks in, it'll be looking really nice and throwing really nice. Just a little bit of wall ball sesh, and he should be fine. That's the pocket. And yeah, so fix that mesh, and that's the back of it. So yeah, that's the Proton Power. I'll throw it back up there, and that's one of them. Second one is Easton Launch, I believe that's what you call it. He wanted a lot of cotton candy involvement in this, so I just exploded with it with the pink and Carolina tops, Carolina sidewalls, and I didn't do a lot of white in the middle this time. I only did like one diamond row, and pink all the way down, pink sidewalls. This stick is really bright in person, really flashy. Even though this stick is fairly wide, it does come with a lot of stringing holes and a lot of options, so it gives you the idea, it gives you the power to do any type of stringing that you want, which is good in a stick. It's got a sweet-ass channel, I think, and yeah, it just looks really, really nice. Show you the other side. Do a little wrap around on the ground. So this one is probably like one of my second favorites, only because of the colors and just the way it turned out. I think he's really going to like this one. He requested 3 straights on it. He requested a nylon in it. I haven't put it in yet. Sorry about that. I guess that's one thing I forgot. But anyways, I think it's a great looking head. I think you'll like it. So I'll just put that back. Next is a orange Clutch 2, kind of like Florida Gator Syracuse themed. He requested to have an orange triangle top string at the top, no blue in it, but I decided, hey, what the hell, you know, I talked to him about it. I was like, you know, if we put a little bit of blue, it'll pop out. So that's how it turned out. There wasn't enough room for the double wraparound style, so I just did the singles. So this one got 1 straight, 1 5DU, and 1 3DU. Might look like a 6DU because I pushed it up really high, just to lessen the amount of whip that it has in the stick. But this one, like I said, with the amount of holes in it, it created a really nice pocket, as you can see. Really crisp, really defined. It's not going to have a huge amount of whip, but it's going to have a nice amount of hold, and it's going to have a nice amount of snap to his shot. So I think he's going to like this one a lot as far as throwing with it. If I were him, I'd put this on a BAM shaft and just go to town, you know, or some type of flex shaft. That would look really cool. A lot of people don't like the Clutch 2s. I'm not really the hugest fan of it. I remember the first time these guys actually came out, I was working at Comlax at the time, and the first Clutch 2 to ever come in was the orange one, and I remember picking it up. I bought it, and strung it up a bunch of ways. Didn't really like it too much. At the time, we were only using hard mesh, and I ended up selling it on eBay, I believe. So this one got royal all the way around for shooters. 1 nylon at the top, 2, like I said. Orange on the sidewalls. The pattern on this was just a bunch of knots, SIs, and then wrap around to the bottom string. So that one looks cool. My favorite out of all these is probably the Proton Power. This one came as white, but I took some silver mesh and made it look really cool. I was able to do the double wrap around. These new Proton Powers allow you to do that. So I kind of like, when I looked at this after it was done, I was like, geez, you know, this kind of reminds me of something, and I don't know, it kind of reminds you of like a naval warship, like a battleship almost, because if you look at the sides of some of them in person, if you've ever been to like Norfolk, Virginia, or if you ever seen like a battleship or like an aircraft carrier, they're really, the color on the sides kind of mimics the overall, like the color of the ship. So it's like, you know, like that flat steel. So with the blue added to it, I just think it looks like so much better. It's too bad I didn't have, if he was in the Navy, that would have been awesome, because whatever ship he was on, I could have taken a sticker out, put the ship number at the top, and I'm sure they could have had a fun lacrosse game aboard a ship, which I'm sure that's not going to happen, because there's a whole lot of, you know, planes and stuff just sitting on top of the ship, or if it's an aircraft carrier or a battleship. But I don't want to rattle on. I'm just going to tell you a little about it. As you can see, a lot of royal in it. 3DU, 5DU, 1 straight, 1 nylon, wraparound style. Nice cool bottom. Actually, it's a really cool bottom string. It's got the 2 holes in it, and actually you can spell out DMG actually if you do it sideways. You got the M in the middle. Where did I find the D when I was looking at it? When you look at it sideways, if you stare at this for about a couple minutes, you'll see the D, you'll see the M, and you'll see a G inside of it. So it's kind of cool. It's like DMG bottom string, so you can see it. Came out really cool, even though this one has a little bit more holes. It was still a little bit tricky to string at first, but I like it. I like the new Proton Power. I like the idea that they put 2 stringing holes, I'm sorry, 2 bottom holes in the back. It allows you to reinforce your stick to the shaft a lot better with 2 screws, because I know it gets wobbly if you just put 1 in sometimes with some tape, but yeah, I don't know, I just think it looks a lot better. But I think they really just did it like that so you could just swap out the shafts, because STX ones have a higher drill hole and the Warrior ones have a lower drill hole. But I think this one came out the best out of all of them. This is one that I'm most happy with, and I think he will be too. So that's the dyed silver and the silver mesh new Proton Power. So yeah, the pattern on this again is just start. It's a knot, and there's 2 stacked SIs in this, and then there's 3 regular SIs after that, and then wrap around tie off. So that will allow you to get that nice crisp mid pocket. And I still do not know what to do with this Evo, but maybe you guys can give me some comments in the bottom, and we'll figure that out. So, alright guys, I'm just going to show you all the heads again at once, and I'm going to sign off. So, that's the USAPP, Easton Launch, Brian Clutch 2, and the new the new Proton Power, and of course my baby, the Surgeon 10. So, alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and talk to you guys later. Peace.